Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. Today I am making a Sola wood flower wreath. Today's video is in collaboration with solawoodflowers.com. They were kind enough to reach out to me and send me some supplies. I haven't done this before, I haven't used any of this. This is the first time I'm actually seeing these in person. They're beautiful. I'm so excited. So they sent me their 100 pack of assorted skinless flowers, meaning they don't have like texture on them, and I asked for a bottle of dye. This is rose quartz, kind of like a mauve color, and we are going to sit here and dye all these flowers. I'm trying to see like the consistency of this. I have my flowers separated into 5 different piles. There's about 20 each, but I just kind of separated them by size and then just kind of separated them into piles. So one might have 18, one might have 21, don't really matter. The recommendation for this is to dilute it like by half to get the color. So I am going to go a little bit deeper than that, and I'm going to add all 4 ounces of this to this cereal bowl. This is from Walmart. This is my favorite bowl. This doesn't have any scent to it. It's the consistency of paint. It might be paint, I don't know, but that is a beautiful color. And this is 4 ounces. Is it 4 ounces? Yes, it's 4 ounces of warm water. It was hot, but it took me several tries to get this video going, so I don't think it's hot anymore. I'm just going to add about 3 ounces. Okay, that's good. And I'm just pouring in here so I can get the rest of the dye out. Give that a shake. And I have down an old towel. Kind of like the way this looks with the dark background, huh? And you do need to keep this kind of stirred up. I guess I'm going to add the rest of this in here and see what happens. Keep this stirred up so the dye doesn't settle. Make sure your dog is making a lot of noise in the background. Okay, there we go. I don't want to waste any of this. So I'm just going to leave some in there to add in for our next round when we add some more water. Okay, so there's the 4 ounces of dye in here, almost. There's still a little bit left in the bottle. And 3 ounces of water. I'm just going to mix this up really good. And y'all know I hate getting dirty, but I think I'm going to forego the gloves, just because I want to be able to use my hands as I need them. That looks still very thick, but let's see. Which one do we want to do first? Let me do this one since it's nice and open to see if I need to dilute this anymore or not. And I'm just dunking this in. If you're thinking that's going to take a long time, I think it is. I think if I had decided to do one color, it would be fine, but why would I not complicate things? So now that we have dunked, these should be much more pliable, and we can just kind of open them up a little bit more. I'm going to use my fingers to get down in any little bits that still need some dye in them. Okay. I'm going to put that right there to dry. Let me see. Some people were dipping these first in water. Oh, they're much more pliable once you dip them. They almost feel leathery. I'm just opening these up to make sure there are no white spots. I mean, it's not going to bother me if there are white spots. I just want to make sure that they are completely saturated. This flower is really nice. If you watched my unboxing video, you saw that these were a little bit delicate. Not really delicate, they were just, I mean, they're made out of wood, you know, so they were a little brittle. I mean, oh, shouldn't have done that. You gotta squeeze this out. Let me see if that does anything. Oh yes, that's nice. Yeah, these are like indestructible once you get them wet. It's usually the other way around, huh? Okay, so instead of making you watch all this, I'm gonna film it all. I'll speed through. All I'm gonna do is, as I start a new pile, I'm gonna add more water to dilute this a little bit more. And yeah, we'll have a bunch of nice pretty rainbow flowers when we're done. But the little ombre flowers, I guess, huh? Yeah. Okay, I will do that. You guys, I have had an eyeball itch for like the past 20 minutes of me doing this. I don't know how long that took, but I listened to like an hour-long podcast. So, but I was also listening to it at 1.5 speed. So maybe, 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes. Okay, here are my thoughts. These were so hard to do. If you saw my hands, you saw my hands. That was way too thick. I did not need to mix it at that high a ratio. The next ones, I'm going to try to pull 5 of them together so you can see the different colors. These two very similar, then these two very similar, and it wasn't until we get into like these and these that I can see that there is definitely gradient. I think it comes across on camera. I'm not sure. I added about 4 ounces of water every time I did this, which I was originally adding. I'm going to just bank on adding 1 ounce every time, but to get the differentiation in color, I had to dilute it, and yeah. But I think they're very pretty. I really like the darkest ones, or the deepest ones, I guess. It's a very gray don't even know how to describe that color. It's almost purpley. I mean, it's mauve. It's like a gray, a deep desaturated mauve. I don't know. Um, and as you can see when I'm doing these, I'm kind of getting them in there and then squeezing, because it's very spongy. Like it, when you put it in here and you can, like it holds water. So in these flowers and these, these are terrible to dye. I like these the best probably because I like they look like ranunculus. Very hard to dye. But yeah, you can get in there, squeeze it. They are extremely durable. Okay, now I have a whole bunch of dye left over, but nothing else to dye. Oh wait, here's one. Where did you come from, friend? Go in there. So yeah, if I don't know how all the colors work, but the way this, the way, as much as I can tell, those are darker because they're more opaque. These are lighter because the fabric, not the fabric, the dye is diluted, so you're seeing more of the color of the wood flower show through. But it said that 4 ounces would be enough to dye 100 flowers, and it was, but I have a tremendous amount left over, and these would definitely not have to be this dark. Like, that was basically covering them in paint. So, you know, I think they sell it in 1 ounce bottles and 4 ounce bottles. I think you would still need the 4 ounce bottle, but maybe only use half of it. Because you can always go back and dye them darker if you want, right? Like, so if I wanted these darker and I had extra, I could go back and re-dye them. So let me grab this one. Should I get the roses? No, I think you can kind of see this one pretty good. Here's one. No, that's not one. No, here's one. And then here's one. Which I can't hold. Of course not. Alright, so there's our colors, and you can, hopefully you can see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I think, wait. They're very close, y'all. And that, I mean, that's what I wanted. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay. There we go. So they're all very similar, but I mean, if you look between, yeah, you can definitely see that. This one's the first one, first round. This is the last round. I'm trying to like keep these in order, but I really don't think it's gonna matter. Let's take a look at, this is a dark one. Did I not that one of these? Oh. So they're similar, but they are definitely a gradation from dark down to light. I think these are probably the easiest to dye because they're just the little rose shapes. And you could see I was like opening them up. So they're a little bit bigger than they were. But yeah, that was interesting. I don't know if I would do that again the way I did it. I think I would prefer to mix up Well, I guess if I was doing an ombre, I wouldn't have any choice. But if I was dyeing like one solid color, I think I would mix them up in something much bigger than that. Throw them in there a handful of times, let them get completely saturated, squeeze them, and fluff them out, and go from there. Not that this took forever. It was just in my hands. Y'all know I don't like stuff on my hands, and they're just. I kind of bought a new body scrub today. So apparently, you're supposed to let these dry for 24 hours. I can see that, especially these because they are just like caked in paint, dye, whatever it is. But yeah, I'm gonna have to. Obviously, it's late tonight already. I'm gonna have to come back to this tomorrow to make the wreath. You need to go up here. What are you doing? Get back up there. So yeah, if it's 24 hours to dry, it's probably gonna be 48 here, but I can't have these on my table, so I'm going to let them dry a little bit, and then I'm going to move them somewhere where they can continue to dry until I can come back and make the wreath. Well, isn't this a great big beautiful mess? First things first, glue pot warming, optional, but nice to have. Glue gun, MIA. Here it is. Also warming. Park that there, move this glove that I was looking for yesterday. Get some extra glue sticks ready, and let's very quickly sort this out. Okay, that is an interesting distribution. I figured there would be the most of the smallest ones. I don't know why, but there is like 10, 20, 70 maybe percentage. I thought it looks like it might be about 10. Okay, I have mapped this out a little bit beforehand, so I think we can use the 18-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. Each section took about 10 flowers, which means that if I use 10 flowers in each section, I will have 20 left over. And that's a margin of error that I'm okay with. So yeah, to prepare this, I'm gonna take some ribbon. This is just leftover ribbon from my leftover ribbon, y'all. There's so many rolls of this. Leftover ribbon from the Michaels grab bags. I'm gonna put it over here. Fold one edge under. Give it a little bit of glue. Now I'm just going to wrap all the way around. Okay, I am all the way around. Just going to come through right here, cut this off. Now we have a base to glue the flowers onto, and the back is nicely finished. I'm going to fold this under. snug. Clean off everything stuck to my glue gun while we're waiting. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do before I start gluing is, I have a little Sharpie right here. Well, it's not a little Sharpie, it's just a Sharpie. I want to go through and mark my sections. Just so I don't go wild gluing these flowers on and then I'll realize all of a sudden I don't have them spaced appropriately. That's the only thing I'm worried about with this, is that I'm not going to have enough flowers. But I wanted something more substantial than the 14-inch wreath frame. I'm going to move these over here. So we have a little bit more space to work with. And look, out of all those I dyed, only one of them escaped. And of course it's the small one, the one I have the least of. Alright, if you have a glue pot, feel free to use it at this point. If you don't worry about it. You can just as easily, I'm going to start off with my large flowers, just as easily put the glue on here, stick it down, and hold it for a second. The only thing the glue pot's going to do is that the glue is not as molten, you know, it's not as fluid, so it will dry a little bit quicker. If I have any like this where that little tip is kind of sticking out, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it slightly. I'm going to try not to obsess too much about making sure that I pick a deep one and then a light one and then a super light one. I just want to get these on here without stressing myself out too much. So I'm going to start with all the big ones, dot them around, move into the medium-sized ones, and then hopefully not have to use too many of the little ones, just because I don't want to have a bunch of gaps that I can't fill because the flowers are too big. So if you're using the glue pot, let it get to a thick honey consistency. Pop it down. I think this should be enough, hopefully for 3 big flowers in every section, but I am just going to do 1 in every section, and then we'll come back and we'll do medium, small, and I think this will come together pretty quickly. Here's hoping, huh? So that's, I just try to take that one. So I'm going to be working on this side so you guys can see everything. There's my glue. Pop it on. The darker one. okay. That cut it a little close for me. I was kind of getting worried a little bit. There are some spots here where I do want a flower, but I don't have any that will fit. Or will they? Oh, and I wanted to briefly touch on, since I didn't talk about this earlier, these took forever to dry. I know it's probably not as bad for everybody as it was for me, because I am in New Orleans. It is 114% humidity all the time. My house is very cold. So when I woke up this morning, I like ran in here to check on them because I was like, oh, did the colors change? Did I okay? Did they melt? And I was touching them and I was like, these are still like very wet. Like the ones that have more paint on them were dry to the touch, but the ones that were more diluted, the lighter colors, I was just like, this feels exactly like it did when I dipped it. So before I left to go to physical therapy today, I rolled up that whole towel, took it outside, and laid it in the sun in the backyard. And it stayed out there until, it stayed out there from about maybe 8:30, somewhere up in there, until like 3. It had 5 hours in the sun. They're still, I can feel the ones that are more dry, because the ones that are still slightly damp are a little bit more flexible, which I kind of like. But I was worried about using them when they were super flexible because they would still be damp, and hot glue and damp does not work well together. Alright, so I am very happy with this. I wish they would have been more smaller flowers. But I get, like, if you're doing a bouquet or something, you probably don't want a bunch of small flowers. Let me clear these out of the way so we can get a good look at this. And yes, I did have to kill a fly in the middle of this, if y'all are wondering what the hell that was all about. Okay, so this is about 19 by 19. There's glue everywhere. If you do use a glue pot and you have strings all over the place, throw them back in your glue pot. But also you can take a hair dryer afterwards and just go over everything, and it'll just kind of get rid of those. Because I'm finding, like, if I have little bits of glue that I pull off, the paint is coming with it. I would say that these are not actually dyed, or they didn't soak in enough. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. I'm very happy with that. I was going to move it around trying to get it centered. There we go. So yeah, thank you again to SolaWoodFlowers.com for sponsoring this video. They were so great to work with, y'all. Like, I'm never gonna come on here and tell y'all, oh, go try this, because that's, y'all know. If anything, I am honest. I'm not gonna recommend that you give your money to anything that I don't find applicable or useful or anything that I believe in. And my whole experience with them reaching out, them letting me do whatever I wanted to do, and the product is just, it was great. And now I want more. I don't know that I would do the Ombre wreath again, just because all that dipping, that took a bit. But they do sell mixes on the website of like palettes. Like there's like a fall palette, and there's like a, a pinks palette. So yeah, go check out SolaWoodFlowers.com. If you wanted to make this project, I'm saying it would cost you maybe $30, $40, $35, $40, somewhere up in there. Yeah, super happy with this. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to link Patreon and Etsy and TikTok and Instagram and Venmo down below if you want to send me a tip. And this might be up on Etsy, I don't know. I'll probably end up giving it to my mom though, because it's super nice and I really like the way it came out. So thank you for watching. Thank you, SolaWood Flowers. Thank you, Joanne. You guys were great to work with. I hope we can do it again sometime. Alright guys, see you later. Bye.